Welcome to Mythic Codex Legends Unveiled, the place where mythology, folklore, and legends come alive. I'm your host Eliza, and tonight we'll uncover the stories that have captivated humanity for thousands of years. Turn the page, our journey begins now. Before we begin, I want you to picture this. You're walking alone beside a quiet lake, just after sunset. The air is cold. The water is perfectly still, and the only sound is the gentle breeze moving through the trees. Then you hear someone calling your name. The voice is familiar. Maybe it's a best friend, maybe it's your mom, maybe it's someone you haven't seen in years. You step closer to the edge of the water, trying to figure out where the voice is coming from. Suddenly, you hear a baby crying. Your heart starts racing. Someone has to be out there, right? You take one more step. The crying stops. Everything goes silent. Then, something beneath the water smiles. That is actually how the legend of Ahuizotl began. For centuries, the people of central Mexico have warned each other about dangerous rivers and lakes. But they weren't just afraid of drowning. They believed something lived beneath the surface, something intelligent, something patient. That creature was known as the Ahuizotl. The legend of the Ahuizotl comes from the Aztec civilization, which flourished in central Mexico before the era of the Spanish in the 1500s. The Aztecs believed they was filled with powerful spirits and creatures connected to nature, and many rivers and lakes were considered scarce. The name Ahuizotl comes from the Nahuatl language and roughly translates to water dog or spicy water creature. Some historians believe the story was meant to be warn children and travelers about the dangers of deep water, while others believe the Aztecs truly feared that the creature exists. The Ahuizotl was even said to serve Tlaloc, the Aztec god of rain and water, choosing certain victims as offerings to the god. Descriptions of the Ahuizotl are terrifying. Images something about the size of large dog with thick black fur that's always dripping wet. It has the face of a monkey, razor-sharp teeth like a wolf, clawed paws, and its most horrifying feature, a long tail ending in a human hand. That hand wasn't just for show. It reaches out from beneath the water to grab ankles, wrists, or even someone's hair before dragging them below the surface. The creature was also believed to be incredibly intelligent. Instead of hunting openly, it lured people to the water by copying cries of a baby or the voice of someone they loved. By the time a victim realized something wasn't right, the Ahuizotl already had them. The stories became much darker after the victims disappeared. According to the Aztec folklore, bodies would sometimes wash ashore day later. Strangely, the bodies often showed very little damage, except for three things: their eyes, their teeth, and their fingertips. The Aztec believed that Ahuizotl carefully removed these body parts as scarce offerings to the gods before returning the body to the surface. Some legends even claim that only Aztec presence were allowed to recover these victims because they believed the dead had been chosen by the gods themselves. Other stories are even more terrifying. They say the Ahuizotl didn't always kill its victims immediately. Instead, it dragged them into underwater caves where they remained trapped in darkness before finally meeting their fate. Whether these stories were true or became more terrifying over generations, nobody really knows. But one thing remained the same in every version. If the Ahuizotl pulled you beneath the water, no one ever expected to see you alive again. Looking back, it's easy to understand why this legend survived for so long. Ancient lakes and rivers were unpredictable, strong currents, hidden sinkholes, tangled plants beneath the surface, and a sudden drop-offs claimed countless lives. When bodies later surfaced when damage caused by fish, turtles, or other creatures, people needed an explanation. For the Aztecs, that explanation was the Ahuizotl. Sometimes legends are born after fear, sometimes they're born from tragedy, and sometimes they're born because no one can explain what really happened. So, the next time you're standing beside a calm lake and you hear someone calling your name, don't answer. If you hear a baby crying where no child should be, walk away. Because according to one of the oldest legends in Mexico, the Ahuizotl doesn't chase its victims. It waits beneath still water, listening, watching, and patiently reaching upward with a hand that should never exist. And by the time you realize what's wrapped around your ankle, the water has already gone silent. And remember, don't always listen to familiar voices, because it might just be the last thing you do. This is your host, Eliza, and I hope you enjoyed listening to Mythic Codex Legends Unveiled. Follow, comment, and share so you can follow along in our following episodes. Thank you for listening, and come again.